G'day guys, welcome to Marty's Beer Show. Where I take the hard work out of drinking beer so you can just enjoy it. Today we're looking at Coopers. Coopers was founded in 1862 by Thomas Cooper in Adelaide. Originally he brewed it apparently as a medicine for his sick wife. Came up with beer instead and everyone liked it. And here we are now. Now when you get a Coopers, you'll notice that if you go to a bar, they'll do that to you. It's not a silly prank or nothing. It's to arouse the yeast in the bottle. They have a natural process where they put beer stuff in there and it brings it up so you can not have chunks down the bottom. Anyways, our first beer here is Coopers Mild Ale, mid-strength, 3.5%, one standard drink. It's got the standard Coopers label in orange here. Orange Glad, that one's on there. But so yeah, they're a screw top bottle. Yeah. Now that's how apparently you're meant to do it. So frothiness, not too much froth. Colour, standard mid-strength. Smells like a very standard mid-strength beer. Tastes like a mid-strength beer. You could probably drink that pretty quickly. Scalability scale, pretty high. Yeah, probably that for maybe Sunday afternoon or a after work, hot day, have a longer session on them. Not too bad, still has that Coopers taste, but obviously mid-strength, so yeah. Not bad. Moving right along. Now I haven't actually tried this one before. Coopers Dry. It's in a clear bottle. I don't know why. Doesn't have the same Coopers label, etc. It is so 4.2%. So full strength beer, 1.2 standard drinks. Let's go right ahead and not too much froth on that. So let's have a bit of a look here. Oh, that pours pretty well. So froth, yeah, maybe a bit foamier than the mid-strength, not too thick. Sort of the same, maybe a bit lighter in colour than the mid, but nonetheless. Smells like beer. That's always a start. It's pretty good. It's not very complex. Sort of a bit of an empty taste. Doesn't really linger that long. But non-offensive. Very would say neutral, empty. I don't know if they're words you'd describe beer with, but it doesn't really do much. It's not offensive. Scalability scale, you could probably scull that one pretty quick, but that's up to you. Probably have that on a more of a summery afternoon barbecue sort of beer session, having a bit of a drinking session or whatnot, if that's your thing. Yeah, not too bad. Moving right along, we have Coopers Brewery Session Ale. I've tried this before, I forget what it tastes like. Again, standard Coopers label bottle. It's 4.2%, so pretty standard to, you know, full strength normal beer. Just have a bit of go. It's a screw top, quite handy. So that's got the that's got a bit more of the standard Coopers smell that we they've become accustomed to. Alright, look at that. So again, the froth seems to be dissipating a bit quicker. Don't know what the science behind that is, but not too foamy. And colour, it's beer coloured, which is always a good start. Smells good. Oh, I like that. A bit more interesting than the dry. Bit of flavours in there. Sort of tastes a bit like the other ones, the Coopers Green, which we'll look into later. Has a bit of an aftertaste, not a bad one, but you can definitely, it's more fuller flavour. Scullability scale. Maybe not so much, it's a bit more of a savouring flavour, I think, even though it says session ale. I don't know what that actually means, but you know, it's pretty good. I'll give that a, yeah, I like that one. That's would definitely do again. Moving right along. Next is Coopers again, funnily enough. It's one of their newer beers in their main range, the XPA. The X stands for extra, I think, most likely. Now the XPA is actually 5.2%, so that's up a little bit of a notch from the standard. Well, this is 4.2, so 5.2, so an extra 1% on the percentage scale. Not a twist top, but the old style them. Same old Coopers label, classic, just in purple or electric aubergine, but may or may not have poured that wrong. Now that has the froth is a bit more thicker. It's not dissipating quite as rapidly. Could be due to my pouring technique, could be due to the can-ness there, but nonetheless, let's go and have a, smells alright. Definitely smells a bit fruitier than these ones. But, again, not much of a discernible colour difference. It's not pale as the name implies, which I don't understand how that works, but nonetheless, have a go. That's a bit different. Definitely stands out a bit more from the rest of the Coopers range. I remember when this first came on tap, and there's some mixed reviews to that. I remember it was a hard one to get into, but eventually, yeah, I think if you're into your craft beers more so, you probably might enjoy this a bit more. If you're into your standard, just, you know, middle range beers, maybe not, but I'm into my craft beers, so definitely works for me. Kind of yeah, it's a bit of a fruitier taste, or not, but it's a bit more complex. Yeah, a bit thicker, lasts. The flavour sits around. I reckon it's I reckon it's pretty good. Scalability. I think it's actually a bit more smoother on the scalability scale than the session ale, which, I don't know, the science again behind that. I'm not really a beer sommelier, one of the two. I reckon that's probably a good pub, sitting at the pub, on tap, couple of beers, everyone's a winner. Yeah, I'd thumbs up for that one. Righto. So the next one, Coopers Original Pale Ale, or usually just Coopers Green is what people call it unofficially. This is actually one of my favourite beers, so I'm slightly biased towards it. I'll usually buy this quite a lot and drink it too, which is the intended purpose. It's the original Coopers, you know, if you see that label, you know it's Coopers, so they've done well with that department. Anyways, let's go have a look. Now I've already pre-rolled all of these bottles prior to today's events, so no need to point that out. Now froth factor, it's going away already, so it's not quite as thick as this one. It's really died off a little, but I don't see how that affects much in the wild. Colour is just your standard beer tinge of amber beer colour. Anyways, let's go on. Yeah, that's the one. It's very non-offensive. Doesn't really sting any of the taste buds. Has a very beery, well it should, beery aftertaste. So you can tell it's there, but it's not offensive. It's just what you would expect from a beer. That's why we're doing it. But yeah, not very complex, quite non-offensive, so you could probably share this amongst people and they would enjoy it, which again is the whole point. Scalable scale, so yeah. Probably not for that, but I don't think that's the intended purpose of this beer. I think it's best enjoyed for savour, more of a enjoy the flavour. So I'd take it to a barbecue. I would have it on tap at a beer serving venue. I'd have it at home with a variety of meals, not breakfast, but nonetheless, that's up to you. Anyways, now from the original pale ale, we've got the Coopers Sparkling Ale. This is also one of their, I guess, original stereotypical beers. If you were to see Coopers in the wild, these are the two that you'd go, that's Coopers. So, you know, it stands out. No need to change the label. No need to. Anyways, enough of that. So it's 5.8%. So again, a step up from the XPA, and quite a step up from the green. So it's 1.7 standard drink. So you're getting up to the, you know, almost 2 standard drinks in one bottle. So it's yeah, I've tried it a few times. Not the biggest fan, but that's what we're here today to just give it a go. Again, twist top. It's making life easy. It does smell pretty good, but you know, don't take my word for it, or do. That's the whole point of the video. But here we go. Now, see, my pouring technique is different, so it's really hard to judge, but I feel like that's maybe a bit frothier, a bit better. Now it's gone, so yeah, I'm a liar, but nonetheless, looks like beer. Again, not much difference in the colour. I mean, that one's a bit cloudier. This one's probably a bit more clearer than the green, but nonetheless, let's dive right in. Smells like beer, so that's a tick on the scale. Yeah, that's more of your standard heavy beer, like your standard, you know, your benchmark, your old school, just beer, no fuffing around, just standard beer. Not overly refined, nothing crazy. It's got that typical beer aftertaste that yeah, it's not over refreshing, not offensive, like smells like beer, which is good. I like it, but I think I'd be quite into beers to, yeah, I think it's probably not for if you're just an occasional beer drinker, and you just like something a bit lighter, like, you know, 1 or 2 beers, I think, yeah, maybe not for you, but it's pretty good, tastes like beer. So, yeah, it's got that bit of a bitter. Again, I don't know much about beer tasting, so onto the scullability. Scullable, that's how you measure heat and chilies. Scullability scale. Oh no, that's not the beer for that. That's not very good at sculling beer. I'll admit that right now, and that just is not the beer for that. Tom Place for that would be if you're ingrained into a drinking session and you want to stick to the one thing because that's what you like. I think that is the stigma with Coopers Red. The guys who drink Coopers Red only drink Coopers Red. Knew a guy called Mumbly Dan, and he would drink that every day, and he wouldn't drink anything else. So, you know, once you find something good, stick to it. Coopers Red. That's not what it's called. Coopers Sparkling Ale, red label. Nonetheless, moving right along. So these are all your standard beers. Now we come into your darker sort of beers where I guess you have to actually like these kinds of beers to go out of your way to try these. I'm not the biggest fan of dark beers, but surprisingly some of them do taste quite light and drinkable, you know, even though they may appear to be dark and thick looking. But nonetheless, this is Cooper's Dark Ale, so as the name suggests. It's only 4.5%, so it's going back down again, 1.3 standard drinks, standard Cooper's label, in autumn brown. Now, ooh, it smells pretty good. Now I've got a feeling this is going to be a bit darker, but we'll let's have a wee look here, shall we? Yes, it's quite a considerable colour darkness here. Now, froth, yeah, again, could be my pouring technique, could be the beer glasses, but seems to be defrothing quite rapidly. As you can tell, slightly darker than the others, but nonetheless, here we go. just smells like a normal beer, even though it's dark ale. Smells like a normal beer. Doesn't really taste that much, even though you'd think the dark colour that it would be very thick, but it's still light, sort of almost refreshing, but so that like not burnt taste, but without being burnt, but a rich, I think it's malt, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty good. And we're back. Probably should have charged the battery before I started this video, but nonetheless, so where were Coopers? Yeah, so it's good. It's not too bad. It's like you'd think that it's going to be thicker, but nonetheless. Now the scullable scale, I don't think it's really designed for that. Not even going to bother with that test. I know better, but if that's your thing, be my guest. I think if you're going to drink that beer, I think you'd have to be winter. You know, it's not really a summer, not a hot afternoon like it is now. It's spring, but maybe if you're in a nice bar with a fireplace, or if you were similar settings. Nonetheless, I'm probably not gonna do it. But next beer, another dark one, the last in the range, the best extra stout. I'm guessing it's the best one they have. It's 1.8 standard drinks, 6.3%. So I think that's actually the strongest in the range, if I may or may not be. Yeah, 6.3%. So it's pretty brutal. Again, well, doesn't have an overly crazy smell, but you know, let's have a look at it. See, now when you go to the bar and you order a stout, Guinness or similar, usually they'll pour it for you and you have to wait 17 minutes for the froth to go down and they bring it out to you or whatever. I don't know how it works, but that looks pretty good. Very thick. Again, probably poured it wrong, but not a professional. It's creamy, like almost like a spider, not, you know, blah blah blah. So I think that froth's going to stay for a bit. Smells very rich tasting, like your normal stouts. Again, I'm not really into them, but you know. Ooh, no, it's good. It's really rich, really thick tasting, like that standard stout, Guinnessy. No, I don't know if I want to be likened to that, but nonetheless, it's good. It's thick though, like it's not very refreshing, but kind of that burnt. Yeah, I don't mind it, but again, I think you'd have to be quite into these sorts of beers to. But if you're buying this, you know what you're in for. So yeah, it's yeah, not bad. Again, I'm going to leave the scullable scale out of this because that's just not necessary at this point in time. But again, the occasion, I think winter. It's a cold evening, or if you're in a nice chalet and you want to have a nice thick beer. Yeah, it's not too bad, but not my cup of tea. But anyways, that's it. That's my that's the range of Coopers beers. If I was to pick a favourite, I'd be leaning towards Coopers Green. Coopers Green, that takes the medal. Can't be beaten. One of the originals, crowd favourite, non-offensive, easy to drink, reasonably priced. So yeah, Coopers Brewery. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you guys have any suggestions for beers I should try that you're too scared to try yourself, leave a comment. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you next time.